Hello there, my beautiful Capricorn signs. This is Rachael with Dark Knight Coaching. So today's video is a traditional Celtic crossbred. I usually pull 10 cards while I meditate to music on your energy. And today the song was Halsey's Lonely is the Muse. So you might want to check that out. There's probably a lot of relevant lyrics, but right away I could tell this reading was about love, possibly heartbreak. But I do feel like there is going to be reciprocity coming in, and I feel like you're really letting go of old mindsets and old behavioral patterns, trauma releasing energy for sure here, Capricorn. Now this could be shifting in the Scorpio moon that we have, where we are releasing a lot of negativity and we're kind of manifesting the life of our dreams. Now manifestation isn't like just thoughts, it's kind of putting things into play and into place where they align with what we want. So like, you can't sit on the couch and eat Twinkies and think that you're going to be skinny. Like, that's not how it works. It's like you have to put in the elbow grease and the time and the effort in order to establish new behavioral patterns and habits. Now, psychologically, on a like subconscious level, it takes 90 days for a habit to really like kick in. So anything that you really want to kind of absorb or almost turn into this like muscle memory type of vibe, you have to do consistently. It requires a consistent effort to change your habits. And I do feel like a lot of you are going to be shifting out of some negativity and some negative mindset because you're doing a lot of healing of your mother wounds and your father wounds, because I had the divine feminine and divine masculine come out in your reading, which is rare and very cool to see, Capricorn. So if you're just here for the tarot reading, make sure you watch the first half of this video. If you would like to hear added messages from your guides, your higher self, your angels, then make sure you check out the rest of the video, because I pull oracle cards from the following, I have 9 other decks that I pull cards just to see what other messages you need to hear at this time. And if something in this message does resonate, make sure you smash the like button. It helps my channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. But I'm going to go ahead and dive right into tarot. Now, the first energy you have is Page of Cups. This is a new love opportunity coming in. It could be you offering love to someone, because I do feel like you are very giving and very loving at this time, Capricorn. But the challenge here is the Four of Swords. So what's crossing you in this Celtic cross is basically the healing energy, the rest, recuperation, rejuvenation, contemplation mode. This is also can be tied to self-awareness. So make sure you're not coming at love with this immature energy, because Page of Cups is kind of like a small offer of love, or it can be also an immature offer of love. So there might be somebody in your energy that is immature, or maybe way younger than you, that's coming in that really wants to connect. But the foundation of all of this is the King of Cups energy. So King of Cups is a stable offer of love. It's a very tangible thing. I just feel like this is you know what you want, Capricorn, and you're not going to settle. So if there is somebody coming in that's kind of seemingly immature, maybe they need to do some introspective work or some healing, or maybe that's your energy, Capricorn. Just remember, energy is fluid, so this could be your energy, could be their energy, and masculine and feminine energies are also fluid. So if I refer to a man or a woman, it can be vice versa. Now, in the past here, you have Empress energy. This is a card of fertility and abundance. This is also divine feminine. This can be tied to mother wounds. This is also a card of maybe you were mothering someone in your last relationship and you're healing that almost like a trauma response. It's like a codependency or a some sort of misaligned attachment. So there's avoidant attachment, there's secure attachment, and there is what's the other one? Avoidant, secure. Oh, why am I freezing? Hold on one second, let me think. Avoidant, secure, and anxious. I want to say anxious. Hold on one second. Sorry, yes, secure, avoidant, and anxious. I had to Google it real quick because I was like, man, it's not coming to my head for some reason. But yeah, secure, avoidant, and anxious. So if you're an anxious attacher, you might be very codependent or have a lot of trauma bonded relationships in the past. If you are avoidant, you maybe are, just never really fully committed to anyone, kept everything surface level and kind of just bounced from one frog to the next. or hopped, I guess. But I do feel like a lot of you are shifting into a secure attachment style because that is where you fill your own cup up first. And I do sense that there is going to be reciprocity here because you have the Six of Pentacles. This is a very much so like a Libra energy, and that's a very positive sign. I think the Empress is like, I want to say Cancer or Gemini energy. I don't have my chart with me right now, but I do feel like a lot of you are trying to find some balance and some harmony because in the past you might have been having a lot of relationships that were based on limerence instead of love, and limerence is when it's like one-sided, but now I feel like you have opened your eyes enough to see how people will just take and take and take until you put healthy boundaries in place, and that's what's happening right now for you. It's like there is going to be karma coming back in your favor if you've had positive and pure intentions, Capricorn. This whole last like 6 months has been a lot of karmic stuff coming out to play. So I think we had Saturn retrograde begin in the end of June, and it's going until about November 15th. So there's going to be a lot of karma coming back around. Now, in your near future, you have the King of Pentacles. This is, to me, is a card of like saving, financial abundance, security, having a really nice job that is consistent. And it's also about having like tangible things in the 3D. It's very much so a card of like money. I don't know how else to put that. So if you've been focusing on work or those sorts of things, I do feel like you're going to have an abundance. And abundance can mean many things. So abundance could just mean like you're able to pay all your bills on time without having any debt. That is an abundance. Now, your subconscious energy, you have the Emperor. So there's a lot of masculine energy in your kind of field because you have the Emperor, you have the King of Cups, King of Pentacles. There's also the Knight of Cups here and the Knight of Wands and the Hierophant. There's a lot of masculine around you. That could be your spirit guides or passed away loved ones that are surrounding you right now too. Or it could be like there's just a lot of men in your energy. Now, the Emperor is divine masculine. So the Empress and the Emperor, you have divine feminine, divine masculine. I do feel like you're trying to balance that yin and yang side of yourself where you have to like wear a dress sometimes, you have to wear the pants sometimes, and you have to have this like fluidity so that way you can become very balanced in your yin and your yang energy. And when you have a good balance between the masculine and the feminine, that's usually when you tap into your intuitive abilities, or you can become like this lion and the lamb where you have healthy boundaries in play, and it really helps you when you're on your journey. Now, the foundation of the situation and what's in your control here is the Hierophant. The 10 of Wands came flying out, so I took it as well because when any card just like flies out at me, I take that as a sign that it's meant to be in this message. So your power and your control in this situation is the Hierophant. That is usually about traditional beliefs and value systems, so you might be like getting over those or changing or shifting those. It is also a card of commitment. So maybe you've made some sort of commitment to yourself of about the past and moving forward and not carrying all this baggage with you. Now, the Hierophant is a very much so a Taurian card. So you might have a lot of Taurus in your chart, or you might be dealing with a Taurus sign. But there is something significant about the moon in Taurus that's happening. I think that is also on the 15th. So a lot of shifts occurring energetically on those in this whole month really, and over the next 6 months there's going to be a lot of shifting. I think the thing that's going to shift most for you is emotions. So how you handle your emotions, how you process your emotions. I think that's going to be the major like a catalyst of change for you, and it's how you handle maybe rejection or offers of love. And it's like, I don't feel like you're going to be entertaining anything that's not in it for the long run, because the Hierophant is very much so a card of long-term commitment. And I do feel like it's like a promise you've made to yourself almost. Now, how do people see you, Capricorn? You have the Knight of Cups. So people see you as very generous and a lot of love to give, a lot of love to share. Maybe they feel like you are out on the town putting yourself out there. But I do feel like this is a lovely card to have in your, like, how people perceive you, because it's just a very loving, generous spirited card. Now, in your hopes and fears, though, Capricorn, you have the Ten of Swords. This is like stick a fork in you. You're done. You're afraid to maybe jump on to something new because you don't want to have the same cycle of repeat. A lot of the times, if we don't do the healing of our mother wounds and our father wounds, which are tied to our divine feminine energy and our divine masculine energy, if we don't actually heal those things, which is your challenge at this time, then we repeat patterns and behaviors, and we find ourselves being attracted to people who are much so like our parents and guardians that raised us in a lot of ways, or people that we've been drawn to in past relationships before. It's like you're putting lipstick on a different pig, but it's still a pig. So I do feel like your hopes and your fears are like, it's tied to your mindset, but it's tied to your mindset about your emotions and about discernment, and if you're able to really perceive people as they are versus how they present themselves. But I do feel like you are growing on an inner level because you're trying to decide and discern what love is to you, Capricorn, and how that is going to shift you. Now, your outcome here is the Knight of Wands. This to me is temptation. This is like someone's going to come in all hot and heavy and bothered and like passionate and fiery. And I do feel like it is going to be a test of your will and a test of whether or not you're prepared to say yes or no to this energy, because I feel like that Knight of Wands is almost like this Page of Cups. It's like an immature or small offer of love coming in, and your challenge here is to reflect and contemplate and figure out what it is that you're looking for and what it is this person is looking for. And this is like again just a very lusty energy. It's just like a hot and heavy chemistry, passionate, not that that's not fun, but it's not I don't think it's the promise that you've made to yourself, Capricorn. So just be cautious of that, or don't, free will. So that's what I have for you when it comes to tarot. Hopefully that part helped. If it did, please again smash that like button. It helps my channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to dive into the oracle cards and see what other messages your guides and your higher self have for you. But right now, the first card I have is from my Moon Oracle deck. I love this deck. It's just a fun thing. It says, I allow my soul to lead the way. So a lot of you are trusting that inner gnosis that we all have. And you have Pentacle. Protect yourself from negative and evil energies. It's funny to me because everybody usually thinks the Pentacle is such like a witchy, bad voodoo whatever thing, but it's actually tied to geometry. It's tied to sacred geometry. So and I think the golden ratio is basically what the pentacle is. So if you're not sure what that is, just Google pentacles and Disney and you can kind of see the sacred geometry in there. I don't think they have the video anymore that they posted a long time ago. I just remember there's like a Donald Duck pentacle video, but it actually ties to the golden ratio, and the golden ratio ties to the flower of life and a lot of other things. So I could go on that tangent, but we'll be here all day. So all right, your soul is leading the way, and Pentacle. Oh, you have the Temple as well. Well, I think this is relevant to what I said about sitting on the couch eating Twinkies. Make sure you're putting positive things into your body. Sometimes that's hard to do if we're going through emotional upheavals, and sometimes we look to food for comfort. That is also usually a trigger response to some sort of childhood wound, where maybe you overeat or undereat or both at certain times based on your emotional capacity to handle life. I don't know how else to put that, but make sure you're being cautious and aware and cognizant of what you're putting into your temple. And that's not only with food, that's with like music and what you listen to, what you watch. Usually I find if you're like absorbing negative social media or things like that, you're going to really kind of drown yourself in negative vibes. So a lot of the times the news will have like only negative stories, and it's very much so almost brainwashing, because it's a it's a fear state, and you don't want to be in the fear state, because when you're in fear state, you usually attract those sorts of energies as well. Now you have creative force from my I Ching deck. This is cool. I don't think I've ever pulled this card, and this ties to that song I was talking about, because in that song by Halsey, she talks about lonely as the muse, and I feel like there's something about your creativity that's going to be in play here. It says, pure creative spirit flows through people and events, and inspiration wants to be realized and moved towards manifestation. Welcome its momentum and find a way to work with this vital energy. Sustain a constancy, two-way flow between source and action. Be true to your initial intent and align your choices with this original vision to yield positive results. How can you liberate creative energy, and what wants to be created? Wow, okay. I feel like this is like a slow and steady wins the race thing here. So if there's something you've been wanting to start creatively, it's going to be kind of one of those long haul things where you establish some sort of solid foundation for yourself. Interesting. Okay, number 28, building blocks. Anything in your life that has been built on a false perception or a false person is going to be crumbling down. That's usually just how it works, especially when we're going through Scorpio season, when we're going through the cycles of our lives. Anything that's not meant for you is going to leave your life at some point, and we have to trust that it's in our best interest, that it's for our highest self. And sometimes that's very difficult to do if we're going and experiencing hardships, whether that's emotional, whether that's financial, or whatever it is. But Spirit really wants you to trust your inner guidance. It says you have a strong connection to your soul's loving voice and have faith in your intuition. And just know, like, the past does not define you. Everyone has to learn a lesson, and we don't always learn them on the same trajectory and the same timeline. And that's just part of the spiritual process. So understanding why you are where you are is vital, and being able to forgive yourself and know that, we stay in situations sometimes, even for past life karma, where we may have to almost like serve a sentence with a partner for so many years before our soul is ready to move on. And I do feel like a lot of the collective is getting out of these like karmic relationships because they've realized that they're worth more. And sometimes it's lonely when you're on your own, but sometimes it's lonelier being in a relationship that is one-sided or toxic or manipulative or things like that, or narcissistic even. So I do feel like a lot of us are having awakening and clarity collectively. Now, the third eye intuition card I have for you says act. It says, what do you want? What is your gut saying, and how can you make this happen? Write a list of pros and cons to cut a way through to reach your goals. Instinctively, you'll know if this is a good choice. I feel like that's about your creative ventures, whatever it is that's going to spark joy for you. You could be throwing yourself into a new hobby. I feel like it might be some sort of art form, creatively, sewing, knitting, those sort of things. I'm getting like a lot of wintry hobbies, painting, sculpting, working through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. You're just shedding old skin here, Capricorn, and that's a very positive thing to see. So lots of good things coming. And then I have 2 chakra cards for you because they both wanted to kind of come out, and I shuffle these cards, so it's kind of rare for 2 green cards to be side by side, but these are kind of the best cards of the deck. It's about perception and wisdom. Now the green is also tied to your heart chakra, so I do feel like you're remaining open-hearted, and you had a lot of like love energy with the Knight of Cups in your energy here, and I feel like you're not letting the past bring you down. You're not letting people's actions like close your heart off, which is great, because a lot of the times people are not wise enough to realize that how people treat you is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. And I feel like your perception is changing because you've gotten wiser because of all the hardships you've gone through, Capricorn. So very good energy, positive stuff for sure. A lot of green in your cards. Goodness. All right, Capricorn, that's what I have for you. Hopefully this video helped. If it did, please smash that like button. It helps my channel grow. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing the inner work. Thank you for watching this. If you're interested in a one-on-one coaching session, please feel free to reach out. If you're interested in a personalized tarot reading, you can book that on my website as well. And I will see you next time.